Was this a baby shower or a full-blown cinematic event? Fans can't stop talking, retweeting, and replaying the footage of Kirk, Frost, and Jasmine. Washington's over-the-top celebration that has completely hijacked the internet. What was supposed to be a sweet, intimate gathering for their new arrival has exploded into a viral storm of glitter, tears, secrets, and public confrontation. And yes, Rashida was there. Cameras caught it all. From the moment Jasmine strutted into the venue in a custom crystal-studded gown with live butterflies released into the air. People knew this wasn't going to be just another influencer-style baby shower, but no one was prepared for the emotional showdown that was about to unfold. Within minutes of Rashida walking in, the temperature dropped literally and emotionally. Guests described the tension as cut. Kirk tried to play mediator, but his nervous glances and sweaty palms betrayed a man who knew he had just walked into his own emotional ambush. And then, Jasmine grabbed the mic. What she said next had guests gasping, one woman fainting, and Instagram Live viewers begging her to repeat it. Secrets spilled, alliances shattered, and the Frost family's darkest chapter reopened in front of balloons and baby bottles. Was this planned? Was it spontaneous? Or was the whole event a masterclass in reality TV-level drama disguised as a gender reveal? Whatever it was, fans are still picking their jaws up off the floor, and we've got every detail. So, buckle up. Because what went down inside that baby shower may just change the Frost family forever. It all started with an invitation that looked more like a red carpet award show invite than a typical baby shower card. Gold embossed letters, velvet paper, and a wax seal bearing the initials K and J sent tongues wagging weeks before the event even took place. Rumors were already swirling. Was Kirk Frost trying to rebrand his image with Jasmine Washington? Was this their way of rewriting the narrative after years of messy drama and very public scandals? Whatever the motive, one thing was clear. This baby shower wasn't going to be quiet, humble, or drama-free. And it absolutely wasn't. As guests began arriving at the lavish Buckhead mansion-turned-event space, it was clear that this wasn't just about a baby, it was a spectacle. Lush floral arches covered in pink and lavender roses, a live string quartet performing Drake instrumentals, and 3 separate photo booths with different fantasy themes greeted guests at the entrance. Everyone who was anyone in Atlanta's reality TV and influencer world showed up, and that's when things started to unravel. Kirk, looking dapper but visibly tense in a champagne-colored suit, paced around near the custom Frost Baby No. 8 neon sign, whispering into his phone. Jasmine, meanwhile, played hostess to perfection, with her diamond-studded heels and a flowing chiffon dress that sparkled with every step. She looked like a woman who had finally won. But not everyone saw it that way. When Rashida walked in, wearing an all-black power suit with gold accessories and a face carved from stone, the mood instantly changed. Cameras clicked, heads turned, and whispers rippled through the crowd like wildfire. Some fans thought Rashida wouldn't show. Others believed she'd be civil. But no one expected what was about to go down between her and Jasmine. It started, subtly side-eyes exchanged over the cake table, icy smiles during the group photo, and an awkward silence that fell over the room when Kirk tried to introduce the 2 women to a group of out-of-town guests. But Jasmine wasn't one to stay silent for long. As the MC invited everyone to the main hall for the big gender reveal, Jasmine took the microphone unexpectedly. Her voice trembled at first, but soon gathered power. "Before we pop balloons, or cut cakes," she said, "I just want to thank everyone who stood by me. Through hate, through judgment, through betrayal, and yes, through being labeled everything but a woman of strength." Gasps. Clutches of pearls. Someone in the back even muttered, "Lord, here we go." Kirk's eyes widened. Rashida's jaw tightened. "I wasn't going to say anything today," Jasmine continued. "But there's something freeing about bringing life into this world. And when you carry a child, you carry truth. And the truth is, I didn't destroy any marriage. I was lied to, I was used. And when I tried to walk away with my dignity, I was painted as the villain." The room froze. Rashida took a deep breath and stepped forward. "Are you done?" she asked, her voice low and composed, but deadly. "Because we've heard this script before." Jasmine didn't flinch. "Oh, I'm just getting started." And just like that, the baby shower transformed into a live emotional battlefield. Guests sat back, stunned, phones raised. The gender reveal was forgotten. The balloons floated silently above, untouched. Jasmine stepped down from the small stage, facing Rashida squarely. Kirk tried to get between them, but neither woman budged. What came next was an exchange so raw, so unfiltered, it had the entire event spinning out of control. You had your turn, Jasmine snapped. You had your marriage, your brand, your respect. And still, he came to me. Rashida's eyes gleamed not with tears, but with fury. And you think that's a win? You think standing in the wreckage of another woman's life makes you powerful? You got attention. Congratulations. But let's not pretend you were just some innocent flower. Jasmine folded her arms. At least I didn't stay with a man who humiliated me in public for years. The crowd let out a collective "ooh." A drink dropped. Kirk looked like he might faint. In that moment, everyone forgot they were at a baby shower. This wasn't about diapers and lullabies, it was years of buried emotion erupting in designer heels and diamonds. The DJ, unsure of what to do, awkwardly turned down the music as the two women stood face to face in full confrontation. Jasmine's mother, sitting in the front row, looked horrified. Rashida's cousin tried to approach, but was held back by security. And the cameras, because there were cameras, kept rolling. Jasmine's voice cracked now, showing the first flicker of vulnerability. You don't know what it's like to be dragged on every blog, every comment section, to have people wish your child wasn't born. Rashida's voice softened, but only slightly. And you don't know what it's like to look your children in the eyes and explain why their father's face is all over TMZ with another woman. That's when Kirk finally snapped. Enough. Both of you. This was supposed to be a celebration for our child. Jasmine turned on him. Oh, now you want to speak up. Rashida shook her head. Don't worry, Kirk, I won't ruin your big moment. I came here for peace. But clearly, this is a circus. And with that, Rashida began to walk out. Cameras swarmed. Jasmine stood still, trembling, a mix of pride and devastation on her face. Kirk chased after Rashida, who ignored him completely as she headed for the valet. Leaving behind the baby shower, the drama, and the unanswered questions burning in the eyes of every guest present. But the drama didn't end there. As Rashida left the building, a TMZ reporter who had somehow gotten wind of the event shoved a mic in her face. Is it true you didn't know Jasmine was pregnant again? Rashida paused, turned toward the camera, and said coldly, I know more than you think, and this isn't over. The clip went viral within the hour. Inside, Jasmine tried to regain control of the event, but the mood had shifted. Some guests began leaving, while others whispered, speculated, and scrolled Twitter to see how quickly the footage had spread. Jasmine returned to the stage, this time more composed, more determined. Let's not forget why we're here, she said. To celebrate new life. My baby deserves joy, not shame. But even as the gender reveal finally happened, blue balloons bursting in a shower of confetti, nobody was really watching. The room was still echoing with Rashida's words, Kirk's silence, and Jasmine's unfiltered pain. And as cameras panned to the crowd, it became clear that this baby shower had turned into something much bigger. It wasn't just about a baby, it was about legacy, loyalty, and the messy, raw truth behind the Frost family brand. What happened next would shake Atlanta to its core. Begins right where the emotional dust was still settling. The blue confetti had barely touched the floor when Kirk returned inside, alone. Rashida was gone. Her black SUV seen peeling away from the curb, with paparazzi trailing behind. Jasmine stood frozen near the stage, her eyes betraying a mixture of triumph and devastation. Yes, she had spoken her truth. Yes, she had claimed her space. But something in the air had shifted and, not in her favor. Guests began to murmur, uncomfortable now with the direction the event had taken. It wasn't just a dramatic confrontation, it was a public unraveling. And in that crowd, watching from the far corner, was someone no one expected, Rashida's mother, Sharon. Sharon hadn't announced her arrival. Dressed in understated elegance and tucked behind a row of pastel balloons, she had witnessed every second of the showdown. And when Kirk made his way toward Jasmine to do what he thought would be damage control, Sharon stood and approached with the kind of quiet authority that silences entire rooms. You got a lot of nerve, she said to Kirk, her voice cutting through the tension like a blade. He turned, startled. I came here for peace. For that child's sake, she continued, nodding toward Jasmine's belly. But what I saw in there, that wasn't peace. That was a man letting two women bleed publicly while he watched in silence. Kirk lowered his head. Miss Sharon, I don't miss Sharon me, she snapped. I raised Rashida to be a queen. And you've dragged her name through the mud again and again. You think throwing a fancy baby shower erases that? The crowd hushed again, watching Sharon with reverence and shock. Jasmine stepped forward, trying to interject, but Sharon held up her hand. And you, Jasmine, I don't hate you. I pity you, because one day, you'll realize that sharing a man never leads to victory, it only leaves wounds. Jasmine blinked hard, trying not to cry. The moment stung. It wasn't an attack, it was truth. Raw, brutal, and coming from someone who'd lived it. Kirk, feeling cornered, finally exploded. I'm sick of being painted as the bad guy. Y'all act like I'm the only man who's made mistakes. Yes, I lied. Yes, I was wrong. But I'm here now, trying, providing, being present, and still it's never enough. Someone clapped sarcastically from the back. It was Scrappy, who had shown up late with Bambi, not realizing the circus he was walking into. Man, this ain't about you providing, Scrappy shouted. You wanna be a dad now? Try not leaving landmines wherever you step. Jasmine turned to Kirk. You told me this would be different, she whispered. That this time, we'd be respected. I didn't know she was coming, he insisted. You invited the whole cast, Kirk, Jasmine said, voice shaking. What did you think was going to happen? Tears formed in Jasmine's eyes, but they didn't fall. She turned her back to him and walked toward the giant table lined with custom party favors, gold-plated baby bottles, hand-wrapped soaps, even personalized candles with the baby's name already etched in them. But now the name Kai Frost felt heavy in the room, like a stamp on a family secret that no longer wanted to stay hidden. Social media had already begun exploding with live reactions. Was that Sharon, Rashida's mom? One tweet read. Another said, this baby shower needs to be on Netflix. Right now. A third posted side-by-side clips of Jasmine's speech and Rashida walking out with the caption, choose your fighter. Meanwhile, security scrambled to keep up with the escalating chaos. Paparazzi had somehow broken through the back gate, and one reporter managed to catch a private moment between Jasmine and her best friend Tasha in the garden. I didn't want it to go like this, Jasmine said, finally letting the tears fall. I really thought this time it would be about joy, not drama. Tasha, ever loyal, hugged her tightly. It's always been drama, Jas, but now it's your story. Let them talk. You're the one raising that baby. Not Kirk. Not Rashida. You back inside. Kirk had disappeared. Some said he was seen getting into a black Escalade, while others claimed he was hiding in one of the venue's guest rooms, trying to call Rashida. Either way, he was gone, leaving Jasmine to clean up the emotional mess of what was meant to be the happiest day of her pregnancy. Then came the unexpected twist. A producer from Love and Hip Hop, Atlanta arrived. Apparently, they'd caught wind of the drama through cast group chats and Twitter threads. With cameras in hand, they approached Jasmine. We're already planning a special episode, the producer said. Fans are obsessed. They want to hear your side, all of it. Jasmine looked stunned. I didn't even sign on this season, she said. Doesn't matter, the producer replied. You are the season. It was a turning point. Jasmine could either let the chaos define her, or she could seize the narrative. And in that moment, something hardened inside her. She wiped her tears, squared her shoulders, and said, fine. But if I'm telling my story, I'm telling everything. No filters. The producer nodded. We'll be in touch. Expect a camera crew by Monday. Meanwhile, Rashida had locked herself in her penthouse suite, away from the buzz, the gossip, the opinions. Her phone wouldn't stop vibrating. Texts from cast members, fans, her mother. One message stood out though. It was from her eldest son. Mom, you okay? We saw the video. That's when Rashida broke, not in front of the cameras, not at the event, but in the quiet of her room, away from the world. She sobbed. Not because Jasmine had said hurtful things, but because everything she had buried, ignored, forgiven, and smiled through, had come bubbling to the surface in front of strangers, fans, and Instagram Live. She replied simply, I will be. I promise. Back at the baby shower, Jasmine was left to navigate the fractured crowd. Some guests rallied around her, telling her she was brave, honest, even iconic. Others looked uncomfortable, excused themselves early, or criticized her privately. But Jasmine stood tall. This wasn't the ending she wanted, but maybe it was the one she needed. And as the sun set over the chaos, balloons deflating and plates of untouched hors d'oeuvres sitting abandoned on linen-covered tables. One thing was clear, this wasn't just a baby shower. This was the rebirth of a scandal. And nobody was ready for the next chapter? Picks up in the quiet aftermath, where the decorations still glimmered but the atmosphere had turned cold. Awkward, and irreparably altered, Jasmine sat alone now, near the gift table, the same one where earlier she had posed like a queen. Her back was straight, her eyes bloodshot, and yet her posture screamed defiance. All around her, the cleanup had begun. The staff moved robotically, flower petals, unplugging lights, collecting half-eaten cake plates. But Jasmine wasn't ready to leave. Not yet. Not until she'd figured out what her next move would be. Not after that explosion of a scene that had turned her baby shower into headline news across every gossip blog and reality TV fan page on the planet. And then, as if fate wasn't done playing its cruel hand, her phone lit up. Unknown number. Calling. She stared at it for a moment before answering. "Hello," she said cautiously. The voice on the other end was chillingly familiar, calm, controlled. "Rashida, I'm not calling to fight," Rashida began. "I just needed to say this directly." Jasmine braced herself. "You're about to learn what it really means to be tied to this man," Rashida continued. "And no matter how sparkly the party, how expensive the favors, or how viral the footage gets, being with Kirk always ends in some form of loss." There was a long pause. "Is that a warning or a threat?" Jasmine replied, not angry, exhausted. "It's a truth. One I wish someone had told me sooner," Rashida answered softly. And with that, she hung up. Jasmine placed the phone down and looked out at the slowly emptying venue. Her assistant approached with a worried expression. "Jas, we still have the family toast planned. Do you want to skip it?" Jasmine inhaled slowly. "No, I want to finish what I started." Within the hour, a small group of loyal friends and family gathered near the stage once again. There were fewer than 20 people left now, most of the guests having fled the earlier chaos. But this, Jasmine thought, would be her way of reclaiming control. She took the mic and addressed the room, her voice low but steady. "I know today didn't go the way I planned," she began. "But what's done is done. I didn't throw this event for likes, or blogs, or to make a statement. I did it to honor this life growing inside me. And whether I'm loved or hated, misunderstood or applauded, I'm going to be a damn good mother." Polite applause followed, and Jasmine gave a small, sad smile. She knew the damage had been done. But at least she still had her truth. What she didn't know, however, was that Kirk was watching the entire thing unfold from a quiet room in the back of the venue alone, in the dark, a drink in hand, replaying everything that had just gone down. As the toast wrapped up and Jasmine began hugging the last of her guests goodbye, Kirk finally emerged. His expression was unreadable. Not angry, not sad, just empty. "You didn't have to do all that," he said. Jasmine narrowed her eyes. "Do what, exactly? Tell the truth. You made a scene." "No, Kirk. You made a scene when you cheated, when you lied, when you let her walk out without standing by me." He looked away. "I didn't ask her to come, but you didn't ask her to leave either," Jasmine snapped. "You stood there like a statue, as if it was happening to someone else." Kirk rubbed his temples. "I'm tired." Jasmine laughed. A dry, bitter laugh. "You're tired. I'm the one carrying your child while battling the whole damn city, and you want to play victim." He stepped closer. "Don't twist this. You know I care about you." "No," she said firmly, her voice trembling with rage and heartbreak. "You care about control. You care about appearances. You care about not looking like the villain, but you don't care about how I feel, or what I carry physically and emotionally." Kirk didn't answer. He knew he had no defense. And for the first time in a long time, Jasmine saw him clearly. Not as a partner, not even as a man, but as a catalyst, a fire starter, someone who leaves smoke wherever he steps. She turned her back on him and walked away, determined not to cry in front of him again. But the fallout from the baby shower wasn't limited to just Jasmine, Kirk, and Rashida. The entertainment world was ablaze. Radio hosts dissected every word of Jasmine's speech. Instagram lives went up every 5 minutes with fans arguing over who was right and who was toxic. Shade Room posted a clip of Sharon From's explosive speech, with the caption, "Grandma said what she said." Even celebrity blogs from New York to LA had picked up the story. And then came the most unexpected twist of all. Rashida posted a cryptic Instagram story. One sentence, "Silence is louder when you finally hear it." The internet went nuts. Was she implying she was done with Kirk? Planning something? Leaving the show? And more importantly, would this chaos fuel the next season of Love and Hip Hop? Producers wasted no time. They sent contracts out to both Jasmine and Sharon, hoping to lock them in before another network could scoop the drama. Meanwhile, Kirk posted a photo of a pair of tiny baby shoes, captioned, "No matter what, Daddy's always here." Fans didn't buy it. The comment section was ruthless. "You wasn't there for the mother. Don't try now. Too little too late. Kirk. You fumbled twice. Impressive." Back at Jasmine's home, the emotional toll of the day hit hard. She sat in her room, rubbing her belly, whispering quiet reassurances to her unborn son. "You're not gonna grow up in all this noise," she said softly. "Not if I can help it." Tasha entered with a glass of water. "Social media's going crazy," she said. Jasmine sighed. "Let them. At least now they see me." "Really see me?" Tasha nodded. "They do, and whether they love you or hate you, they're watching." And Jasmine knew it. This wasn't just a viral moment anymore. It was a reckoning, and she wasn't going to waste it. For once, she had the world's attention, and this time, she'd use it on her terms. But while Jasmine plotted her next move, Kirk was making one of his own. A call to a mystery number. One that ended with, "Yeah, set the meeting. It's time, I fixed this. For real." Whatever that meant. One thing was certain. The baby shower was over, but the drama, oh no, it was just beginning. Opens not with chaos, but with eerie calm. The day after the baby shower, the city was still buzzing, but Jasmine's home was quiet to quiet. A thin morning fog blanketed her gated neighborhood, but inside her home, the air felt even heavier. Jasmine hadn't slept. She sat by her bay window, a journal in one hand and a phone in the other. Scrolling through comments, blogs, message, one a reminder of how exposed she had become. Some praised her bravery. Others tore her apart. And in between the chaos, one name kept appearing. Rashida. Not Kirk. Not even the baby, just Rashida. The woman she never wanted to compete with, but always found herself compared to. Jasmine closed her eyes. "I didn't ask for this war," she whispered to herself. "I just wanted peace." But peace was nowhere in sight. Across the city, Rashida was in full strategy mode. She'd just finished a tense call with Mona Scoutyang, the executive producer of Love and Hip Hop. "We want to do a full two-part special," Mona had said. "You, Jasmine, Kirk. We've got over 10 million impressions in less than 24 hours. This is bigger than any season premiere." Rashida was quiet for a moment before answering. "I'll do it. But I want creative control over my scenes. I'm not going to be made to look like the bitter wife." "Not this time," Mona agreed. Meanwhile, Kirk sat in his office with a stack of papers in front of him. Legal documents, custody, arrangements, prenup amendments, damage control disguised as responsibility. He was trying to clean up the mess, but not because it was the right thing to do. No, Kirk was panicking. Endorsements were calling. His partnership with an energy drink brand was under review. A club appearance had been cancelled. Even his sneaker store was flooded with one-star reviews. He needed a win. And in his world, that meant one thing: control the narrative. But Jasmine had other plans. Later that day, she met with a media consultant, Tanya, a PR guru who specialized in crisis to queen transformations. "We're not here to play victim," Tanya said firmly. "We're here to pivot. You'll launch a platform. Speak for single mothers. Reclaim your image. You don't fight back with tears. You fight back with power." Jasmine nodded. For the first time in days, she felt the weight begin to lift. "Let them say whatever they want," she said. "They don't know me, but they're about to." Then came the next unexpected hit. A leaked voice note allegedly from Kirk surfaced online. In it, he could be heard saying, "Jasmine was never supposed to keep that baby. She promised me she wouldn't." The recording was grainy, and Kirk's reps claimed it was AI generated, but the damage was done. The quote trended for hours. Under the hashtag #KirkExposed, and even verified accounts joined the dragging. Jasmine saw it and broke down, not from shame, but from fury. "I defended you," she screamed at her phone. "I believed you." And just like that, the final straw snapped. Jasmine went live. No filters. No glam, just her, a bonnet, a bare face, and raw emotion. "Since everybody wants the truth," she began, "let me give it to you. I was lied to. I was manipulated. I was told I'd be protected, and I was used. But that ends today." In the 37-minute video, Jasmine detailed her entire relationship with Kirk from the beginning to now. She exposed his fake promises, his hidden bank accounts, the emotional abuse, and even the times he allegedly pitted her against Rashida intentionally for publicity. "I may not be perfect," she said toward the end, tears now streaming down, "but I loved that man. And I believed that our son would be born into love, not headlines. But I can't protect him from the truth. All I can do is protect him from the lie." Within minutes, the internet caught fire. Jasmine's live video had over 2 million views by nightfall. Celebrities reposted it. Activists spoke out. Even some of Kirk's former friends began distancing themselves. A well-known relationship therapist tweeted, "What Jasmine just did was bravery. It's time we talk about emotional manipulation in men who hide behind money and legacy." Kirk issued a cold response via Notes app on Instagram. "I'm deeply saddened by the false accusations being made. I've never been perfect, but I've always tried to be present. I will not engage in public battles over private matters. My focus is my children." The comments were brutal. "Too late, try again. Should have thought of that before the baby shower disaster." Even Rashida, who had remained mostly silent since the event, posted a simple tweet. "Karma doesn't lose addresses. She just waits for you to get comfortable." Behind the scenes, producers were scrambling. Jasmine had now become the centerpiece of the franchise. Offers poured in for exclusive interviews, brand partnerships, and even a potential reality spin-off. Tanya, her PR rep, negotiated aggressively. "She's no longer the other woman," Tanya said. "She's the main event." Meanwhile, Rashida took a very different approach. She met with divorce lawyers. Quietly, strategically. Not because she was ready to file, but because she needed options. For the first time in her life, she was considering what freedom looked like. Real freedom. Not performative forgiveness. Not saving face for a storyline, but a life without the emotional weight of a man who kept making her clean up his messes. But just as the dust finally seemed to be settling, a new storm brewed. A second woman came forward. A former makeup artist who worked on the Frost family's last promotional shoot posted a blurry photo of a hotel room door and a long caption that ended with, "I didn't want to be involved. But watching Jasmine be dragged made me speak up." She wasn't the only one. The internet exploded. Kirk, once again, went silent. Rashida posted nothing. Jasmine's team declined comment. And fans were left to wonder, was this just the tip of the iceberg? Because what started as a luxurious baby shower turned dramatic had now become a national scandal, a tangled web of secrets, betrayals, and viral redemption arcs. And if one thing was certain, it was that the Frost family brand would never be the same again. What Jasmine had intended as a celebration of life had exposed an entire legacy built on deception, illusion, and PR tape. As Jasmine looked at her inbox, overflowing with interview requests, brand deals, and messages from women thanking her for speaking out, she knew the war wasn't over. But this time, she wasn't just a player in someone else's game. She was building her own empire, one truth at a time. And just like that, what began as a celebration of new life turned into the biggest reality drama twist of the year. Jasmine's baby shower, intended to introduce joy and healing, spiraled into a full-blown reckoning for the Frost family, forcing every player to confront years of betrayal, silence, and carefully curated public facades. From Rashida's powerful walkout and her mother's cutting truths, to Jasmine's viral video and the bombshell voice note that sent fans spiraling. This wasn't just reality TV energy, it was a cultural moment. A moment that exposed more than just a man's infidelity. It exposed the wounds of two women who had carried the weight of his choices. It shook a fanbase that once believed in loyalty, and now questioned everything. But here's the real question. Is this the end for Kirk Frost, or just another scandal he'll survive with a new PR spin? Will Rashida finally break free and live her truth? Or will she once again protect the brand over herself? And what's next for Jasmine, new mother, new voice, and maybe the next breakout reality star in her own right? One thing is clear, nothing will ever be the same. The baby may not even be born yet, but he's already the center of a drama bigger than most scripted shows could ever imagine. So what do you think? Was Jasmine brave or out of line? Did Rashida handle it with grace, or should she have stayed away altogether? Is Kirk finally out of second chances, or will he, once again, talk his way back into both women's lives? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this story is far from over. And trust us, the next chapter might just break the internet again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because baby, the drama isn't going anywhere.